When I searched online, I found a great deal of interesting facts and information about the Philippine church, celebrating its 500 years of Christianity. Yes, other than online searches, one can learn more about the vibrant Philippine church and its faith journey. Hi, I'm JD Maher. Welcome to Shalom World's 500 YOC program in partnership with the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines. In this series, we dive deep into 500 years of Christianity, its roots, journey, and fruits in the world's third largest Catholic country, the Philippines.
In the 16th century, explorer Ferdinand Magellan and his team of voyagers from Europe reached the island of Cebu to expand their spice trade. This has been marked as a milestone in the history of the country and its people. The Christian missionaries who accompanied Magellan on the Spanish ship spread the gospel in the Philippines.
In today's episode, we will see the gems of the Catholic Church in the Philippines, youth leaders. The Holy Father, St. Pope John Paul the Great, once mentioned in his message to the youth, young men and women, the church needs your energy, enthusiasm, talents, and thoughts. The church needs you in order to bring up a life based on the gospel values of Christ, to be an inspiration for the church and society, and thereby bring a change and conversion in others' lives, and also to develop a culture upon justice, truth, and love. Each one among you is tomorrow's church. Yes, it is the responsibility of all of us and the church to listen and respond to the youth. In this episode, let's have a look at the endeavors of young men and women in the Philippines. Well, to speak more about it, we have with us two prominent and impressive youth leaders from the Philippines. We're welcoming John Caasi, otherwise known as Bernz, and Sherry Depano.
John Bernz Caasi is a former anti-Catholic Protestant who had asked his mom to burn the statues of Catholic saints, thinking they were idolatrous. He is a radio broadcaster and motivational speaker for more than 10 years. In 2020, he became a Catholic online content creator. He began the Unboxing Catholicism podcast to help people defend the faith clearly without being preachy. He is currently writing his first book, Unboxing Catholicism, which will serve as a detailed account of his conversion and principles in apologetics and evangelization. He is also preparing to launch the Unboxing Catholicism University, which will be a, quote, Netflix, unquote, of Catholic videos and resources made by Filipino Catholic speakers for the Filipino faithful. John is the international conference organizer for the Parents for Education Foundation. Sherry Camille Depano was born and raised in Tondo. She is currently one of the most effective and sought-after inspirational, motivational, and stimulating speakers in the Philippines. A university graduate in the field of medical sciences and a board-certified registered nurse, she was awarded the nation's best-selling author for her book series of Hugot, Understanding the Misunderstood. She is currently working as the Assistant Corporate Secretary of the YMCA of Manila and the Youth Chairperson, a strong, courageous, and steadfast mover who has dedicated her life to the least, the last, and the lost. She is listed among SM's 60 of the most influential women in the Philippines.
So welcome to Sherry and Bernz to 500 YOC. We're so glad that you're with us, and I want to just get started right away. I've got a first question for you both. We'll give it to both of you. We'll start with Sherry. We understand the significance of youth in the life of a person. It's important to all of us. We all remember when we were young and the time of maximum energy, enthusiasm, passion. If a young person is channelized to live for the Lord and for society around him, the youth, I think the church, we all can agree that they really gain that asset. And the Catholic Church in the Philippines is young and vibrant in that dimension specifically. So I want you both to shed some light on the youth initiatives of the church in the Philippines. What's happening? Sherry?
The local church in the Philippines has always been aware of the needs and concerns of the young people and has also recognized the importance of the young people in its role and contribution and growth and deepening of the Christian faith. This was very evident during the Second Plenary Council of the Philippines. And according to the Plenary Council of the Philippines, the youth are the most numerous in our population. For us today, this is seen in what the church calls as the preferential option for the young that is enshrined in the decrees of the Second Plenary Council of the Philippines. Actually, one of the programs I am very much involved with is the Youth Encounter. Basically, Youth Encounter is a program. It's a formation program in the Philippines made for the youth and with the youth. Through this basic formation, accepted and approved by the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines in 1986, our young people would hopefully be empowered from within to share in the building of communities. Actually, not only communities, genuine communities, both in Philippine society as well as in the church. In this program, the church is able to provide youth priority and ecclesial life, recognizing the unique contribution of youth ministry in the church.
And Bernz, what would you add to that? What would you say, how is the church supporting that passion that we're seeing with the young people in the Philippines with these initiatives?
In my experience, when I became a Catholic again after becoming an anti-Catholic Protestant for some years, I returned in 2015, and I've seen a lot of people really fired up to know more about the faith. And practically speaking, when I returned to the church, I saw different initiatives like there are young people putting up podcasts. Like I have a group of friends, they were my former students, and now they're doing the St. Joseph podcast. And every week they're going live to unpack the consecration to St. Joseph and all of these things. And one of the fond memories I had with the CBCP Episcopal Commission with the youth is when I was tapped to lead young people to come up with modules that will be used throughout Lent. So we tap young people to write reflections, and then that was a springboard. Eventually, when I started unboxing Catholicism, we gathered volunteers from all over the world, and we generated more than 500 articles on reflections on the saints that we shared on social media. So there are initiatives like this, and it can range from doctrinal to pastoral. When you say doctrinal, these are young people below 20s, very active in catechism classes. They're giving what we call study circles, and they are, just really helping accompany the youth. I remember in Christus Vivit, Pope Francis really gave emphasis to accompaniment. And I think we see that, although there are a lot of room for improvement, I think Sherry will agree to this, that while the church in the Philippines are doing a lot, there's still a lot of room to do more in terms of really deepening the formation of the young people over here. But we are sharing this great news to the world that we are getting there. We have a lot of people really very interested to be involved in the ministry. They're just looking for opportunities or platforms to do so.
And Bernz, talk about some apologetics programs that you are witnessing and seeing that are thriving. I mean, we have Catholics meeting in pubs in the United States and forming, couples for Christ, of course, with more young people joining all the time. What are you seeing there?
Right. First, I would like to set the context on why we need to do apologetics in the Philippines and around the world. The unfortunate thing that is happening here, and I think around the world, is while these young people are very passionate in trying to serve the Lord, many times they have questions that if a parish or a certain Catholic group may not be able to answer, they draw nearer to the non-Catholic sectors that we have here, which are also very, very active. And to tell you, that was my experience. I was asking a lot of questions and I didn't get it. That's why I gravitated towards evangelical Christianity and I became an anti-Catholic Protestant. When I went back, I saw that yes, there is hope. But apart from seeing this hope among the young, I think we also have to recognize that there is a crisis in catechesis, meaning a lot of young people, in fact, in a former social weather station survey a couple of years back, it said that 1 in 11 Filipinos is thinking of leaving the church for many reasons. And I have a feeling that it's because young people do not know doctrine. Young people lack catechesis. But again, even though there is a crisis in catechesis, what I'm seeing here is a lot of young people are using the new media in what St. John Paul II called the new evangelization. I remember he was saying that all of the church's energies must be devoted to this. That evangelization is really part and central to our identity as Catholics. And if we are going to evangelize, we really need to know how to defend the faith. And in Unboxing Catholicism, our motto is really to defend the faith clearly without being preachy, meaning to take the path of dialogue and to live that culture of encounter, discernment in terms of defending the faith. Because unfortunately, there are also people, their frame of mind when they defend the faith is to insult, right? To lambast other religions. But there is a way. When I became a Catholic, I realized that there is a way to do what I call positive inspirational evangelization. And I can see that in many of the other initiatives that other communities and our community in itself is doing here in the Philippines.
Are you looking for life-changing entertainment? Does what you see on most channels leave you feeling unfulfilled? Well, look no further. Shalom World TV brings the peace and joy of Jesus Christ to you, whether at home or on the go. To start watching, you don't need antennas, cable connections, or a dish. You probably already have what you need if you have a smart TV, such as a Samsung, LG, or Panasonic, or if you have one with an Android, Opera, or Roku TV operating system. These can be found on the latest models of Sony, Toshiba, Vizio, Philips, RCA, Sharp Aquos, TCL, Insignia, Element, Hitachi, Vestel, Skyworth, Changhong, Konka, and Hisense. You can also watch Shalom TV on most IPTV streaming devices, starting with the 4th generation of Apple TV and Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Mi Box, Amino, Humax, or on TiVo Box through the Opera TV store. Are you a gamer or virtual reality enthusiast? We've got you covered. Shalom World is on Xbox One, Razer Forge, Nvidia Shield, and HoloLens. To start watching, all you have to do is go to the App Store, download Shalom World, and start being fulfilled by content that brings you into a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ. For more information on how to watch Shalom World on your TVs and devices, visit us at shalomworld.org/connectedtv. Have a smartphone or tablet? Take Shalom with you wherever you go. Again, by downloading Shalom World from the App Store. If you prefer to watch from your Mac or PC, get the Shalom World desktop app. Or you can always watch from our website, shalomworld.org. And guess what? Shalom World is absolutely free on all of these platforms. Yes, free. There are no download charges and no in-store app purchases required, ever. If you're looking for life-changing entertainment, you found it. It's here, waiting for you on your Shalom World.
And you know, Sherry, I get the idea from Bernz that there's this grassroots effort from the laity, and we love that. We want our youth to be challenged. We want them to not be lukewarm. What would you say that the church has initiated or is conducting to truly challenge the hearts to beat for Jesus and also for his people in the Philippines?
The young people of today are basically digital natives. They are knowledgeable in the ever-evolving and sophisticated digital cultures, which some of the aged members of the clergy and laity are struggling to cope up with. I think the church needs to tap those talents, affirm their enthusiasm, and give opportunities to youth-led programs in the church. Actually, a great example of this is what are experiencing right now. During the pandemic and quarantine protocols, the member of the social media team is mostly of young people. I think they are giving so much effort to do to give opportunities to other people of God to do their obligations in terms of online masses, online novenas, rosaries, and actually catechetical instructions available digitally.
And Bernz, again, just to follow up, do you think this is a call to action more from the church? We see it from the laity, we see it from you, we see it from other people who are using media. This is a chance to kind of use your voice as well. Are you seeing it from the church, or is this a call to action for more?
We see the creative courage of young people experimenting on different ways and means to use social media, digital media, to really evangelize. Like, for example, I'm part of the CBCP media office, and we have a lot of shows here, podcasts, and different shows or programs that feature young people. For example, in my own program, apart from Unboxing Catholicism, I am also part of a program in the CBCP media office that features conversion stories. And all of our features there in those conversion stories are coming from young people. So I think it's happening here that yes, young people are rising, the laity are rising to really fulfill their mandate, their baptismal call to be witnesses, as 1 Peter 3:15 told us, to not be afraid to give witness and to tell people of the hope that is in us. So, but then, while we are seeing this, it's also an invitation for the clergy and for all the people and the laity to reflect, while other people in the Philippines and around the world are doing this, what am I doing? How am I using my gifts in terms of evangelization? Some are gifted in writing, they do blogs. Some are gifted in speaking, they give talks like what Sherry does. And some are gifted in media, so they do broadcasts and podcasts. So I think what is happening is both a successful story in the Philippine church, but at the same time, it's an invitation to deepen our not just the activities of evangelization, but to deepen our formation. So 500 years after Christianity landed our shores here in the Far East, how well do we know our Catholic faith? Because JD, the hugot here, or where I'm coming from, is when I grew up, I went through the motion of tradition, but I didn't have formation. So this is, I think, an invitation for the Catholic Church in the Philippines to, yes, celebrate the activities of the youth, but also make sure that while we are going far and wide with our media activities, we're also deepening in the knowledge of the faith.
Are you seeing more and more young people in the Philippines becoming vloggers and starting their own podcasts for Catholic evangelization? I know you are a kind of a pioneer and a leader in this, but maybe you yourself, you might have been training some young people in this. And are you seeing that movement growing, and are they gaining attention? Are they getting viewership? Or what do you see?
Yes, definitely, JD. What's beautiful is the invitation to do podcasting, vlogging, and all of this came from a previous pope himself. In 2009, Pope Benedict XVI in the World Communications Day said that social media is the new agora. So in 2004, we saw Facebook getting established. In 2006, Twitter has been established. 2009, the Pope said, let's not be afraid. Let's fill this with Jesus. And here in the Philippines, Archbishop Soc Villegas has a TikTok account. So wow, it's amazing that an archbishop, a prince of the church, would be in TikTok. And here, as you mentioned, in Unboxing Catholicism community, we have members in the community who are actively engaged in vlogging, podcasting. You know, just to tell you, I started Unboxing Catholicism as a podcast in full English. And then I realized that, hey, I am in the Philippines, and a lot of people are yearning to be formed in the faith, to get to know more about Catholicism in our mother tongue. So when I shifted to Tagalog, JD, wow, amazing. More people were watching the show, they were interacting, and then eventually I met someone who owns a cable network in Visayas, one of the main islands of the Philippines. And then she told me, you know, Bernz, we really want this content to be here in this island. So we put Unboxing Catholicism on television as well. So not only we are on podcast on Spotify, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and now we are on TV. Young people who are very much aware with how the digital media works. Young people who are so fired up, and of course, young people who are still very much available to do this work of evangelization.
You know, you both have this wonderful passion for the youth and for your Catholic faith. And I want to get a little personal right now with Sherry, if you don't mind. you kind of took a different path in your life, and you had an opportunity, many opportunities, I'm sure, to build a career in medical services. As we know, you're a registered nurse. Why did you decide to take such an inspiring but difficult path? And talk to the young people out there who might be perhaps feeling that they're stuck in a job, but they want to really share that passion of Jesus and the Catholic faith.
Actually, my writing and speaking apostolate was not an intentional choice, but rather it had a bitter start. It happened during that time I had suffered my first heartbreak. I was very in love with a person who during that time was not able to love me back. For me, it was a very painful experience. In fact, I felt like I'm drowning in pain. I still have some flashbacks of that particular painful past. I wallowed and wallowed, and after some time, I decided to pick up the pieces of my broken heart. Um, Crying and cursing were my favorite meals of the day, and actually, thank God, no, when I became reckless, my family and friends became on my side with the aid of their love and their own personal stories of struggles and heartbreaks. I slowly accepted my reality and have me face the pain I was suffering. You know what? I realized that love and pain are both real. They coexist whether we want it or not. And after that experience, I understood that love is for the brave and not for the faint of heart. With this impulse, I started to write and express my feelings and emotion into writing. And after that, I use writing as a platform to express this emotion. And thank God, I was able to publish a book, and people were able to relate with my experiences. And thank God that book became one of the best-selling books in the Philippines.
Well, I think your story echoes and can be heard by a lot of people, especially our young people. So we want to thank you both so very much. We've learned so much in this episode about Catholic youth leaders in the Philippines and how the youth can truly encounter and journey with Christ to develop and share their faith. Let the Catholic world learn from both of you, John Bernz, Caasi, and Sherry Depano. We really appreciate it so much. You are a blessing to the church. Thank you.
My faith is very important. Nourishing my spiritual growth is a primary aim daily from the time I wake up. Every first Friday of the week, we celebrate Mass at the embassy for our personnel to show gratitude to the Almighty's blessings for the week's events and request strength and grace anew for the coming week. We also attend events that celebrate devotion to patron saints and the Blessed Virgin Mary, organized by the Filipino community in Australia. Last year, we at the embassy organized the Mass at the St. Christopher Cathedral in Canberra in partnership with His Grace, Most Reverend Archbishop Christopher Prowse, to commemorate the 500 years of Philippine Christianity. We undertake these activities not just to show support to our Filipino community organizations, but to show our gratitude for all the blessings the Lord has bestowed on our people and our country. Through these 500 years, the Church has shepherded the Filipino nation through tough times and trials and challenges, and we realize that the Church can be a channel or conduit to bring the collective good for the Filipino people, especially in times of crisis, disasters, and even pandemics like COVID-19. My personal wish for the Philippine Church is to grow more adherents to the Catholic faith, because I believe that where there is faith, one can find more hope and charity or love that would promote healing and renew humanity's aspiration for enduring peace and goodwill, especially these days. There is so much pessimism and negativity in today's world. In fact, even in the field of international relations, we feel the need for a sense of positive philosophy in the way we conduct relations between and among states. The Filipinos have been called by Pope John Paul II to be a light to the world. We should live up to this call and advocacy, of course, guided by the Holy Spirit.
Don't forget to join us again next week for more of the 500 YOC. Go ahead and download the free Shalom World app to watch the series. You'll get more updates on the celebration of 500 years of Christianity in the Philippines and many more amazing shows. I'm JD Maher. Mabuhay and Shalom.
We are blessed, we are loved, we are called, we are sent. We will teach, we will serve. We are Christ, we are
Are you searching for fulfillment? Discover true happiness. Stay tuned to Shalom World.